Hey guys, it's streak day number, I don't know, I really need to do this counter. But I got a great idea from one of my new subs on a good topic for today. I think we'll have a little laugh. It's really sad actually that it's a laugh because it really shouldn't be, but sometimes it is what it is. So without further ado, today we are going to discuss Mikey's experiences with psych doctors because I've had some funny ones, okay? So the first time that I was sent to a shrink, as they're called sometimes, I was having an appointment at a new family doctor, and he got me all worked up. Like, my anxiety went through the roof. I almost had a panic attack in a doctor's office, if you can believe that. He said, "Mikey, you probably need to see a psychologist." So I said, okay, maybe I should look into this. So I called up, I made an appointment. I went to this guy's office for the very first time. It was a really nice place. I thought it was really interesting. The first thing he did was led me over to the credit card machine, wherein I put in, it was one of those old ones, so I put in my card and we waited for a minute to process and make sure the payment would go through, I guess, and then we started talking. So I gave him all my information, who I was, blah, 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 for a half hour. Then we talked for a half hour. Well, he was pretty expensive with the whole credit card machine and all. So I thought, I can't really afford to do this. So I tried going to a place through my church that actually the church paid for. I went and saw a lady there that told me that the world was going to end in 3 years. So everything was going to be okay. Mikey, don't worry. In 3 years, this will all be gone anyway. Well, here we are about 7 years later. I saw her for about a year. When she would look at me, she would look through me like she was thinking about the shopping list. And that's the thing that kills me with psychologists, with us mentally ill people. We're a lot smarter than they think we are, apparently. So that was kind of funny, though, to watch her daze away into the darkness as I talked. And sometimes I'd play games with her and say really stupid things to see if she'd even catch it. She never did. My third psychologist was a guy just down the street from me. He took no notes on a computer. He wrote stuff down. He never transferred it to a computer. He was a real whack dude, too. Like, one night it was raining really hard. He actually asked me for a ride home. Okay, my psychologist asking me for a ride home after my appointment because he didn't want to ride his bike in the rain. Well, I can see why. It was like a 10-mile drive. He never even offered any discounts, any gas money or anything. I thought that was really interesting. But disability time came. He wouldn't even write anything in my defense, and we figured it's probably because he didn't have anything written down. So when I went through my disability crap, so I got done with him, I was going through disability. The one psychologist, psychiatrist that ever helped me was one that I was sent to by the state to get an assessment of my mental situation for my disability hearing. She was awesome, but guys, let me tell you, and she had been a head of the Department of Psychology at one of the local universities. She was big time. She was retiring soon, but when I was leaving the appointment, she's actually the one that diagnosed me as well with bipolar disorder type 1, as well as a couple other things. So she was great. But the thing that I should have known when I left her office 3 hours later, she was crying, guys. She was literally crying, tears coming down her face. She said, "They're not going to give this to you, but you are the type of person that really needs it." And she just cried, guys, and I was like, oh, I'm screwed. So anyway, I get to my disability hearing. That's the only time I ever saw her. I wish I would have known about her before, but probably wouldn't have been able to get into her anyway. But that's a whole new story because they're hard as crap to get into and to find and then get appointments with these days because there's not enough of them and everybody wants an appointment. So I go to my disability hearing, and the state had hired a guy from a city that was nowhere near where I live, who had never met me, who said, this guy's a classic example of somebody suffering from avoidance personality disorder. He didn't even have the respect to say my name. He said, this guy. Okay? So he said, this guy has avoidance personality disorder. He's not bipolar. Put him in a back room where he can work alone. He'll be just fine on a job. Guess what, guys? 8 years later, of course I was denied. 8 years later, still haven't had a job. I did work for Amazon for 3 weeks once, but that's it ever since my disability hearing. Anyway, to round out story, it's getting really hot in here again. I was going to turn my air off in the car so it wouldn't be too loud. Last story, I went back to the first guy again to see if, I'd got a little financially better. I went back to see if he could help me. I'm like, let's try this one last time. So I went back to him. He led me over to the credit card machine. We made the transaction. We went through my information for another half hour, and I got my half hour. And during my half hour, I heard, Mikey, eat better, exercise, get better sleep. It's the last time I ever went to a psychiatrist. I did see an APRN. I can't remember what they're called anymore, a nurse practitioner, to get my drugs for several years. But she was mean to me. So I said, screw that. So now I just go to the family doctor. He don't know much, but at least he's a nice guy. Hope you guys enjoyed today's stories. I thought the one with the chick with the, the world's going to end in 3 years is just hilarious. And she really believed it. Hope y'all good. Hope you're taking care. We'll talk to you later. Let me know of any crazy stories you guys might have with psychiatrists or psychologists. I'm guessing I ain't the only one. Take care.